Hello, everybody. My name is Lance, and welcome to my channel. We are going to go over a couple things. The first thing I want to go over today is an update on one of my master sets, a pretty important master set to me. So let's get into that. Okay, if you watched my collection video, you would know that I had master sets, and a lot of them were in 3-ring binders. I've since upgraded. So I haven't upgraded every single master set yet, but I have upgraded this one, which is one I plan on keeping forever. And that is my Evolutions master set. So if we take a look, we got the entirety of XY Evolutions. This is pretty much the set that brought me back to Pokemon back in 2016. So if you just check it out, boom. Very cool. And you'll notice we're missing some cards. And then bam, you come to the end. And if I keep going, right, it'll go into Celebrations and the Celebrations master set because it was big enough to fit into one single binder. Because this doesn't have the ring, so I can't add or remove pages. I'm just stuck with what I got. But you'll notice that the only thing I'm missing out of everything is just energy cards. But guess what? We got 2 more cards to put in, and I have a Darkness Energy, Reverse Holo to go right here. I am only missing, out of everything in that could possibly be in this binder, I am missing a single Fire Energy card, which I ordered already. I'm expecting it to come in from a TCG player here in the next couple days. So this set's complete. I'm just waiting on the one card to come in. But other than that, I love this set. I'll keep it forever because it's just like a time period in my life that brought me back to Pokemon, and I'm really proud of it. But we now have better binders to keep our master sets. I got these tags to label the sets, which are pretty cool. And yeah, there's master set. Okay, next up, I want to talk about what's behind me. You'll notice there's a really big box behind me, and it's part of the collection, so I'm going to open it and show you guys what's inside. So I wanted to add to the sealed collection, and I figured Ascended Heroes was one of the best sets we've probably seen in quite a while, just because of how many big name Pokemon are in it and all that, and the card art's really cool. So I got 2 cases of ETBs. There's 10 ETBs each case, and I did pay market price for them, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the market we're in. Long term, I think the boxes are going to go up, I think, regardless. Check back in with me in 5 years. I'll probably still have them. I'm just going to set them off to the side and then eventually, hopefully, put them in storage. And I won't see them for a while. I don't plan on opening them. I do want to mention something, though, that comes with this. So, although I paid market for those boxes, I did get 4 ETBs for retail. And this is how I did it. So, I joined a Discord that lets you know when products get restocked. Products are restocked online. So places like Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Costco, these kind of places, they'll release a product online and sometimes bots will get to them really quick, or other people that are also part of these kind of discords that are groups that notify you when products get restocked. People are there fast. So I'm part of one Discord and I just manually click. I don't have a bot or anything. So I was able to get 4 ETBs at $60 each rather than the market price that I paid for those 2 boxes. So my recommendation to a lot of people is, if you guys are interested, join those Discords. And this one that I have is free. It's totally free. I don't have any association with the owner or anything like that, but it has helped me get product at a fair price rather than having to go on eBay and pay 120 for an ETB. That's, in my opinion, is crazy. It's crazy I paid for that, but I have a long-term vision for those, so I don't plan on selling them anytime soon. I'm not going to scalp them or anything like that. They're just going to sit in the corner for a really long time, and that's just hedging my bets and diversifying my investments. The link to an invite for the Discord will be in the description below, so check it out. So Pokemon Day was yesterday, February 27th, 2026. This is the 30th anniversary, and they released about a 30-minute long video on their YouTube channel that you should definitely go watch if you haven't. And I just want to touch some of the revealed products and revealed games and stuff. I don't have too much opinions about it, but I just wanted to go over it a little bit. So let's get into it. So this game's music collection, it seems like you get this product that's in the center, this little Game Boy or imitation Game Boy. It's not a real Game Boy that you can plug cartridges in, and it plays music like a little speaker of all the retro music from the original red and blue, or red and green if you're in Japan, games. I don't have an interest in the product really as a user of the product, but I do have an interest in the box art that they are selling these in. If this is the actual box art, which I'm assuming it is, because having those old school Game Boy game, like Game Boy game arts on the box is really cool. And that might be a nice display piece. So I might just pick one up just to have it sealed and have a display piece that has some of that iconic, really old imagery from Pokemon. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, this was a big one. So they talked about the Pokemon TCG just a little bit of the teaser, and then they gave us these two new images, plus a couple of old cards that may be a part of this 30th anniversary set. So I don't know if this is going to be a new mechanic or something like that. That's what these images are from, because it's not something we've seen before. So I'm interested to see what this exactly is. But if this is part of card art, or let's say a teaser for something, I do think they should do a little bit more. But if this is kind of a new mechanic or something, then I guess it's understandable. But if this is going to be card art itself, I don't know if I'm feeling it. But I am, however, going to be excited for all the nostalgia that comes with a 30th anniversary for Pokemon, because they throw back to a lot of old products and old cards. So either way, it should be pretty fun. I'm excited regardless. I'm definitely going to be picking up a lot of product, half to open, half to seal, something like that, or to keep sealed. We'll see though. Pokemon Go is celebrating its 10th anniversary, which is pretty crazy that it's already been 10 years since that came out, with some events. It's not a game I really play, but I have played it pretty heavily in the past. It's just more costume Pokemon and a lot more capture Pokemon opportunities, but on to the next. Another big one, Shadow Lugia is pretty prominent in the Pokemon space. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, is being released for the Switch 2 on its little emulator that's emulating the GameCube that's integrated into the Switch 2. So it's nice to see that they're bringing products like this back. I think they should do that to all the old Pokemon games as well. I know they're already starting to do that, so they might as well just do it to every single one from the past and just have them all on one console. I think that would be pretty ideal. But I've never played this game, although I've heard great things, so I'm probably going to play it when it comes out. Garchomp is getting a new Z form. That's the Pokemon that you're seeing here, but the left side is its new Z form. That's pretty cool that they're still adding forms to the Pokemon games. I'm excited to see if they keep pushing through that. It looks like we're not going to be getting the new mainline game for a while. So seeing new megas kind of come out for some of these Pokemon that have already had mega evolutions is interesting. I'd like to see if they do that to any more Pokemon. Pokemon Pokopia is releasing in like a week. So I'm pretty hyped up about it, to be honest. I really enjoyed games like Stardew Valley and games like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon. There's those kind of style games. They are pretty fun, even though they seem simple and appeal probably to a more casual audience of players. These games in general are pretty fun. So I'm probably gonna try this. I'm probably gonna play. If I like it, I'm gonna play it quite a bit. So Pokemon Winds and Waves got announced. Our Gen 10 is finally coming. It has not been like a crazy long time. Normally we would see a generation this year, but they actually stated that it's going to be not released in 26. It's going to be released in 27, which is kind of surprising because we were thinking for the most part that we were going to get a new mainline game this year, but we're not. So with that news, it seems like we're going to get more of this Mega Evolution block as well for the TCG. So I was thinking that this block was going to be real small. It was going to be like Mega Evolution. We were going to get a couple sets before we start getting Winds and Waves sets. But it looks like now that this is getting pushed a whole year, that's like 5 more sets to the TCG. And it kind of does make sense because we don't have Rayquaza yet in Mega form for the TCG and new ones. We don't have Raichu, a new Mega. We don't have his set. There's always an electrical set. We don't have, who else? We don't have a ton. We're missing a lot of the newer Pokemon that got Megas. Darkrai, the Garchomp that we just saw. All these Pokemon that haven't had representation in the TCG are probably going to get an opportunity to have that representation now that we got the actual Winds and Waves sets probably pushed out well through the end of 27 is my best guess. Okay, we got the new starters. We can already start planning who we're going to choose for the very first adventure into Winds and Waves. We got on the left, Brout. We got in the middle, Pombon. And in the very end, the little gecko is Gekwa. I'm leaning towards either Pombon, or Gekwa. We'll see. I'm leaning towards those two right now. I've never been a really big grass starter person. I don't think I've ever chosen it as a starter. I usually go with the fire or the water one. But I'm still on the fence. Again, I'm looking at the fire and water and I'm like, which one am I going to pick? Anyways, until I make a decision, I'll let you know. But these are your new starters. I'm pretty hyped that they announced this. I'm sure we're going to get a couple more Pokemon drops before the actual release of the game in 27, but we do have a long wait ahead of us. They showed a quite extensive clip of Winds and Waves in the water, underwater. So it looks like underwater traveling is going to be probably a part of this game, which does look pretty appealing to me because we haven't had a sort of dive underwater mechanic in quite some time. So kind of getting back to that feels kind of good to me. And that's pretty much all that we got going on. That's pretty cool stuff that's happened this week. I'm still kind of working through a lot of kinks with the channel. I've changed the name a little bit, if you notice that. So there's some updates happening on my end for what I want to do with this Pokemon channel. But let me show you a couple more things before we take off. All right, so check it out. These are my old consoles from when I was a kid, and this is the exact console that I would play the old Pokemon games on back in 1998 when they came out. This is where I played the original red version, and you pretty much needed a kind of a guide to help you get through the game because there's not a lot of detail in the game that kind of explains everything. So unless you're really good at it, and I was like a little kid, so I wasn't gonna be good at it, but I did have like a little book as well. I wish I still had that, but it kind of guided you through the game and how to get to the end and to the Elite Four and all that. And then it moved on to the Game Boy Color and then the Game Boy Advanced. And then eventually moved on to the SP and the DS and the 3DS. And now we got Switches. And there's been a long progression, but it's been a long journey. And this is basically the beginning of it. I have an SP and 3DS as well. I don't know where they're at right now. I got to look through some boxes, but I do have them still. And that's the end of this video, this little showcase. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Pokemon stuff, I guess. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.